Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie Grace and today I have a special guest with me. This is Samantha. You guys might have seen her in some of my videos, but if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate the support. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below and give this video a big thumbs up. Today's video is going to be all about recruitment tips and what to expect in our experience. So stay tuned, let's get into the video.
Days are long, your car won't start, it's hard to fix.
My first tip, it would be to be yourself. Don't be anybody that you're not, because you are trying to find a place that you genuinely will have a good connection with other girls. And if you're trying to be someone just to get into a certain sorority, you're going to end up regretting it, even if it is the sorority that you want. I know it can be like kind of nerve-wracking to think of that you might not find like girls that are just like you, but I promise every sorority has its own pocket of girls who like different things, and I know Samantha can attest to that.
Right, I would say my sorority has a bunch of, it's not cliquey at all, but there's definitely like different groups of different types of people. So if you maybe one day you talk to someone and you don't get along great with them, but you think they're really nice, the next day you might come back and talk to someone else who's completely different. So it's important to just be yourself and stick to what you like and your true values, and then someone that you might meet someone later on during Rush that you never thought in that sorority that you would like.
My second tip would be make sure you have questions to ask. It's so impressive when a girl is asking different things, more details about the sorority. That just shows she's really engaged in the conversation, she's enjoying herself, and it just kind of gives you a better look all around. Think of it as like an interview. You know, you want to ask questions, you want them to be impressed, so I would treat recruitment kind of like an interview, but a little less stressful because, you know, you are trying to find a place where you're going to thrive. Okay, my third tip would be to not be nervous. Everybody is nervous. The girls that are recruiting you are just as nervous. Some people have never recruited girls. This upcoming year will be our first time recruiting girls, so I know I'm gonna be nervous, so it's totally okay to be nervous. Going through the process, I was really nervous. I remember it so clearly, thinking, oh my goodness, will these girls judge what I'm wearing? Just thinking a million different things. So just be confident.
Something I would add to that is, because you're so nervous, you're probably honestly not going to remember when at the end of the day you're looking back at each sorority. You'll probably kind of have all of them blending together. So something that they told us to do during Rush was, right after you get out of a house, take notes of what you liked about the house, what you didn't like, what you talked about, literally anything you can remember. If you remember the girls' names that you talked to, write all that down, because you are so nervous. And I remember coming out of houses I could remember for like 10 minutes and then I would forget, like they would all blend together. So if you can remember anything, write it down in your notes, so when you're making your decisions for the next day, you can refer to those.
I completely agree. That is so helpful because it will be a long day and you will be exhausted, so having that to look back on is so helpful. And then my next tip would be, do not go in with a sorority in mind. So say you really want to be a Zeta because your sister was a Zeta. Do not go in thinking, oh, I have to be a Zeta, because that will genuinely affect all your other thoughts, opinion on houses, and you may really regret that in the end. So go in open-minded and just ready to be there, be excited, because it is a really fun process. It is long, but it's super fun and really rewarding. And then my next tip would be, it's going to be like tiring, so make sure you get a lot of sleep the night before, and try not to stress, because that was one of my biggest things the night before. I'd always be like stressed, who's gonna call me back? But it really will help you to go in as energized as possible with as much sleep as possible.
Drink a lot of water throughout the days, especially if you're in a southern state, because it was like, I think it was like in the 90s, close to hundreds when we were going through Rush. So stay hydrated or else you might get sick.
And that would not be good. We don't want anybody passing out. Okay, so moving on from tips, those are just a few tips that I have to share, but I'm sure there's lots more you can find. But the next thing I want to touch is things that you're going to need and what I would call Rush essentials, because these things will get you through. So number one, I'm going to say comfortable shoes. There's going to be a lot of walking, a lot of standing. In some houses you may be sitting, but regardless, you're going to have a lot of walking and you want to be comfortable. And then Samantha is going to share a tip if you are in the heat, something you should bring.
Right, so again, if you're in the heat, the southern states, even I'm sure up north it's really hot at this time of year, I know a lot of people will bring like mini fans because it is that hot. And I know at my school we have houses and they're pretty far apart from each other, and so when you were walking in between houses you might get like really sweaty, so it's nice to have a fan to fan yourself off. Also, like Maddie said, shoes, you need to bring flip-flops or something comfortable to walk in, and then you can just change right before you go into the next house.
Yes, that was so helpful because I know I got blisters from my shoes and I wasn't even walking house to house because in Kennesaw it was just one big building. And then another thing, I would bring a bag that has all of your essentials. So I'd bring Advil, I'd bring a liquid IV maybe just to stay hydrated. You can put your fan in there. And then tissues if you need them, and just other necessities, a phone charger, you definitely need a phone charger, and just anything else that you can think of. A small little bag that you can bring around is great. And I think that's pretty much it all for like essentials that you should bring. But for the last part of this video, I really wanted to get into our experiences. So if you are new here, I'm a FIMU at Kennesaw State University, and Samantha,
I'm a FIMU at Georgia Tech.
So it's really cool that we're both in the same sorority. I was secretly hoping that we went through the recruitment process a week apart, and I tried my very best not to be like, go FIMU, because I really wanted her to have an unbiased opinion, and it worked because now she's a FIMU. So we're going to start off with Samantha's story and kind of her experience at Georgia Tech.
Right, so my experience is a little bit different. So I transferred to Georgia Tech, so I rushed as a sophomore, and I know at some schools that's kind of uncommon. I would say it's not really that uncommon at Tech. A lot of people do rush at second years, and especially because my freshman year was like the COVID year, so a lot of people waited to rush. But I honestly had a really good rush experience. Nothing crazy, nothing bad happened. But I would say that I didn't go in with a super open mind. I was kind of stuck on certain houses that I thought that I was going to be the best fit in. And just going through the process, I reminded myself to stay open-minded, and I really was surprised by a lot of houses. And from day one, I really thought that FIMU stood out to me, but I was still trying to keep an open mind because you never know what's going to happen, if you might get dropped by a house you really love. So I tried to remind myself to keep a really open mind, and it all worked out. But I would say you like really want to just stay open-minded, because if I wasn't open-minded to other sororities, I might have even skipped past FIMU because I was so focused on others. So you really just want to keep your options open and just give everyone a fair chance.
That's awesome, and I could not stress the importance of keeping an open mind, like she said. I have a little bit of a different story, but at the same time, I went in really wanting FIMU. It was a sorority that I'd always heard about, and I had said, oh, I want to go FIMU, but that first day, I kind of wasn't as impressed by FIMU as I like hyped it up to be in my mind, and so I was like, okay, well maybe I should, give some other sororities like chances and really just listen and stuff like that. And so after I changed kind of my, I guess, way of thinking, it really did help me think of, okay, where am I going to be able to lead? Where am I going to be able to find great friendships? And where am I going to be able to have fun? It just really helped me through my process. So at Kennesaw, it is in the student center that you go, and they have different rooms. Each sorority has different rooms, and then you go through there. So you don't have to walk as much. There's no heat. In fact, I was freezing in between waiting for houses in the student center. It was so cold. So maybe if you're coming to Kennesaw, bring a hoodie, because lots of girls were sneaking off to the bookstore to buy hoodies. It was that cold. But it goes by pretty quick. Our rush is 3 days, and I think it's 3 days this year, 3 or 4 days, not including bid day, because I know there's an online orientation round. But the first day I was super nervous, and that's totally normal again, but it was a really good first day. I really liked everything that I saw and just getting to know each sorority. And then the next day I got to go in person and meet girls and actually like have conversations with different girls, and that was awesome. You will get to rank your sororities on each day, which ones you liked, which ones maybe you weren't so into, and that you'd be okay not getting back. And then the second day, you get your list back of houses that want you back as well. So it's kind of like a mutual process. And let me just say this. If you don't get all the houses back that you are expecting, that is totally okay, because I know so many girls who got 2 houses back instead of 5 houses. And in the moment, they were so disappointed, and, you know, it's okay to feel that way, but I promise you it'll work out in the end. And then on the last day, you go back to your final 2, and my last day, it was pretty clear who I wanted. But again, hear them out, because you're obviously there at that second house for a reason. Even if it's not your top one, I still really valued conversations. And then next day after preference day was bid day, and that was so fun because I remember opening my bid and seeing Find You, and just the connections that I made when I was there were just so genuine, and Find You has really played such a big role in who I am and how much I grew in my freshman year. And I really hope that you all can have a similar experience, and just no matter what, you are going to be where you are meant to be. And so that's a little bit about my experience and Samantha's experience, but I just really want to encourage everybody to go in open-minded and just see where the process takes you, because it is a wild one. It's long.
Yeah. It's a long
crazy.
week, but it does pay off in the end, and bid day is always so much fun. So if you're stressed during it, just think of bid day, and you will end up wherever you're supposed to be.
Yes, and now we're very excited to recruit our own PC, and I'm so excited for recruitment. So let me know down below if there's any videos that you all want to see going more into the recruitment process, or just a Q&A, whatever. Leave them down below, and make sure you subscribe to Samantha's channel, because she also has a YouTube channel, and I'll link that down below, so check it out. And yeah, good luck with the recruitment. Bye!